Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
The star, Rachel Zegler, is unbelievably charmless in public.
She was, as woke as they are.
She just sounds bitter and angry.
I don't think they're gonna buy it. I don't think they're gonna watch it. I don't think they're gonna like it.
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable.
This truly is the worst casting, maybe, in the history of the film industry.
Rachel Zegler, she's an asshole.
You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White, Greg. You should shut up.
Spend 1 minute on Snow White and how it had totally imploded at the box office this weekend.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
I truly believe that there's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism, patriarchy, it's about abortion. The reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings. I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love Snow White.
And if you disagree with this, then none of your business.
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
And, you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
If Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they're more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea.
A few lessons for Disney. Number one, stop cannibalizing all your old IP. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad business. Number two, please stop changing all of the historic plots which actually have meaning to generations of people to instead become generic woke story about how a woman leads revolutionary uprising and she don't need no man.
Imagine a Hollywood actress single-handedly derailing a Disney classic before the film even hit the big screen. Disney's live-action Snow White was poised to be a surefire hit, a timeless fairy tale backed by a massive budget and the power of a global brand. But instead of a box office triumph, it became a high-profile flop, and many point to lead actress Rachel Zegler as the spark that ignited the downfall. What unfolded wasn't just a movie missing the mark, it was a masterclass in self-sabotage, fueled by arrogance and a tone-deaf approach to a beloved story. With offhand remarks that dismiss the original 1937 film, controversial takes on its themes, and a social media presence that stirred more backlash than excitement, Zegler turned what should have been a celebration of Disney magic into a PR nightmare. This is the story of how a highly anticipated remake unraveled long before the first scene played.
To constantly say things that are just atrocious because they're looking for attention and they can never have enough of it. They can never have enough of it.
Disney thought they had found their next breakout princess. Young, talented, and with a voice fit for a fairy tale. Rachel Zegler, a recent Golden Globe winner, seemed like the perfect choice to lead the live-action Snow White. But the celebration was short-lived. The backlash came swiftly and loudly, hitting like a sledgehammer. While she could undeniably sing and brought a modern flair, many fans balked at the casting. Snow White, they argued, was supposed to be as fair as snow, a defining trait of the original character. Beyond appearance, audiences expected someone humble and relatable, not a rising star with red carpet swagger. From the moment the announcement dropped, a sense of unease hung over the project, foreshadowing the storm to come.
And accusing Disney of inserting unnecessary feminism into classic fairy tales.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
She didn't just accept the role, she took aim at the very story that made it iconic. By 2022, as Rachel Zegler began promoting the live-action Snow White, the production was already facing turbulence, behind-the-scenes controversies, backlash over creative choices, and even a costly set fire. Most stars in that position would tread carefully. Not Zegler. Instead, she leaned in hard, positioning herself as a modern, outspoken advocate for rewriting the fairy tale through a progressive lens. Rather than honoring the 1937 animated classic, the film that launched Disney into legend, she publicly criticized its themes, dismissing the original as outdated and problematic. Her comments sparked intense reactions online, even drawing viral responses from conservative figures like Candace Owens, and deepened the growing divide between Disney's vision and its longtime audience.
Meet a handsome prince and be swept off of your feet and live happily ever after. No, you should want to be the prince. You should want to go out and fight the bad guys with a sword.
It's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
They have been making this film for a very long time because it's just been so scandalized. It's been, so they had to basically put it on ice after people were firstly outraged by Rachel Zegler speaking ill about the prior film, the film that she was remaking. And it's such a weird thing for their whole pitch as feminists to be is like the best thing you can strive to be as a man. Everything will be great once we just act exactly like men. There's nothing special about being a woman. Let's just be men. It just doesn't feel like we're winning.
So no prince or a different kind of prince? I'm sure a lot of people will assume it's a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Who the hell are you to say all of Andrew's scenes could get cut? Like, who are you? Are you Disney? I've read your book, and I have. It's a phenomenal book. You're losing generation of loyal viewers. When you think about Snow White, what is the premise? What is the story?
It's a love story. It's a love story.
It's a dream for a girl to grow up and a man falls in love.
I'm really upset that the biggest theme here is that it's anti-men. She called him a stalker.
The fans were fuming.
Who did she think she was, criticizing the very story that shaped so many childhoods? Rachel Zegler's attitude came across as entitled, as if she saw herself as somehow above the timeless tale she was hired to bring to life. Rather than embracing the role with humility, she repeatedly boasted about how the new version ditched the classic romance in favor of a modern girl boss narrative, alienating longtime fans who had hoped for a respectful reimagining, not a total rewrite.
Woke enough, okay?
These are roles made for actors of my stature. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or the George Clooney roles because that's not for me. Right. And now it's taken away. I don't feel that's right.
Did the dwarfs make it or no?
Well, the CGI dwarfs did. Of course, that goes back to the original controversy where Peter Dinklage, a very talented little person actor, said, why are we doing that? We've hired a Latina actress to be Snow White. That's progressive. But you're going to hire little people to play the dwarfs? That just seems like a step backwards. And then, of course, Disney instantly buckled and said, okay, we're going to add magical creatures.
Disney fans were hoping for magic, not a lecture. But Rachel Zegler's snarky comments about a beloved classic that's endured for nearly a century didn't sit well. Her dismissive tone quickly lit a fire online, leading to the viral hashtag, Chad, not my Snow White. It was a clear signal that audiences felt alienated, not inspired. Behind the scenes, Disney's PR team was likely scrambling, watching a fairy tale marketing campaign spiral into a damage control nightmare.
But what is this process now where it's like in order to be inclusive, you have to completely destroy storylines, completely destroy franchises? I don't believe in that. I don't think the consumers believe in that either.
One explosive comment flipped the script on an iconic story.
You are actually not entitled to call her Trump supporters. You are actually not entitled to do that. And so let me just remind you, Rachel Zegler, of
progressive trailblazer. Her best attitude was built to calm the storm. Only to by. And then the production was unraveling. Delays, costly reshoots, and ballooning expenses had turned the film into a behind-the-scenes disaster. Now, with public crashing and controversy swirling, the fantasy was quickly crumbling into chaos.
I will love you through these 4 years as best I can. F Donald Trump. Yeah. Totally stable in posting, wishing harm upon Trump voters, wishing that we have him repeat.
Megyn Kelly jumped on it, tearing into her own hair. Of this thing, Ben, for a year because their star, Rachel Zegler, was so unlikable. Told all Trump supporters that they could f off, excuse me, but she did. That was just in November. They didn't even know she was going to do that one. Said she hated Snow White, mocked the fact that there was a prince, and that she falls in love, and is supposed to be leaning into her own pout.
Disney was already in a tight spot, grappling with endless production setbacks, delays, costly reshoots, and mounting financial troubles. The once promising fairy tale was starting to unravel, and in the midst of the chaos, Rachel Zegler's outspoken behavior became one of Disney's biggest headaches. As Snow White inched toward its planned March 2025 release, Zegler had the chance to step back and let the storm settle. Instead, she leaned into controversy. Following the 2024 U.S. election, she took to Instagram to lash out at Trump supporters with the message, "Make you never know peace," followed by "burnt coffee, wet socks, screw you all." It was a bold display of entitlement, one that felt less like a star promoting a film and more like someone who wanted to put the fire. For Disney, already struggling to hold the project together, it was yet another
Cry me a river is just exactly everything that we can't stand.
One comment summed it up perfectly. Her bratty attitude was sinking the film before it even had a chance to take off. Disney stayed quiet publicly, but behind the scenes, whispers circulated that they wished she'd been out of the picture from the start. Unfortunately, filming was already wrapped. Rachel Zegler was a train wreck, and the fallout was only just beginning.
Can't close your mouth. This can't be sane. Even when you can't open your mouth. I think this girl does not deserve a feature film, but rather she deserves to kind of pat itself.
You want to track that legacy? That company that now Disney has screwed up the last 5 years trying to police a small percentage of minorities in America? Yeah, we're sick of it. So the more you do this, Disney, Iger, Rachel Zegler, whatever her name is, yes, this is exactly the backlash you're going to get from parents who have kids who are your customers. You're supposed to win parents over. You're talking to kids. The parents pay for the tickets. You have to be a dummy as a marketer. If I'm Bob Iger, you know what we're doing? Emergency meeting. We're putting Snow White on hold for 2 years. And guess what? Pay her a couple $1 million. Go away. We're going to bring another person to win this role. You just screwed this thing up.
Disney took a massive gamble and paid the price. With Snow White beginning on March 21st, 2025, it was a complete disaster. The trailers were lackluster, the CGI looked cheap and awkward, and Rachel Zegler's smile felt forced, completely missing the charm expected. With a $200 million plus budget, the film's $43 million opening weekend in the US was a crushing disappointment. Disney had hoped to at least break $150 million, counting on family audiences and nostalgic characters. Not a single child showed up in costume, just rows of vacancies. Critics were brutal, branding the film woke war. One blunder declared Zegler's Snow White is a flop. The CGI dwarfs discarded low-quality act characters. And the die-hard Disney animation universe, GDQ fans, couldn't save it. Those who did watch the film despised the changing tone and lack of heart, lamenting how it turned a beloved fairy tale into a hollow shell for itself. Merchandise flop too. Dwarf toys sat untouched in clearance bins, gathering dust. In the end, Zegler's abrasive behavior and heavy-handed progressive messaging only pushed audiences further away, sealing the remake's fate as one of Disney's most spectacular failures.
All these studios have to stop letting their actors loose. I mean, honestly, just shut your actors off.
Disney hoped controversy would fuel profits. Instead, it cost them millions. So, what's next after this spectacular flop?
Because guess what? Nobody grew up with that crap, and nobody's all that interested in it. It's very good for people to learn that women need men, and also that men need
Hollywood is in a frenzy, and Disney is kicking themselves. The fallout has been brutal. Rumors swirl that Disney executives are panicking, with job cuts looming and plans for future remakes being shelved. the once confident studio is now rethinking everything after facing potential losses exceeding $150 million once marketing costs are factored in. Rachel Zegler's reputation has taken a serious hit. While casting experts still acknowledge her talent, many label her a difficult diva whose outspoken, self-important attitude has made her a major liability, someone studios are now hesitant to work with. Disney has decided to move the Snow White project to streaming, hoping to minimize further damage, but the negative buzz continues to spread online. Zegler has become a punchline in Hollywood, earning the nickname the Fairy Tale Ruiner. The once promising star now symbolizes a cautionary tale about how quickly things can spiral when talent meets controversy.
And we fell out of fashion. We're not allowed to just say that sort of stuff anymore, but it actually happens.
This fairy tale turned into an absolute catastrophe, and the fallout is far from over. Disney bets on an overconfident newcomer who openly disrespects the classic story, arrogantly tearing down a beloved hero and for a long time. Fans, the iconic Seven Dwarfs have been replaced with uninspired CGI creations, and you can swirl that tensions with the Disney Animation Universe, DDAU, only added to the turmoil. The film tanked spectacularly, grossing just $87 million against a staggering $200 million budget. Rachel Zegler's career now hangs by a thread. Disney is left counting millions in losses and looking foolish, while frustrated fans blame everything from her attitude to her race. But nearly everyone agrees on one thing: the chaos surrounding this remake is undeniable. Meanwhile, the GDA is shaken, and Zegler has become the punchline of Hollywood jokes. The big questions now are: